Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon.
he sucks.
I'm Brandon.
This is our 2-year anniversary episode.
And you gotta do it right?
And
Because I screwed up the very first episode.
In our inaugural episode, Brandon messes up. So
I forgot my name.
It makes sense for him to do it again. Once again, Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
Are you sure this time?
I am sure. I'm sure.
We are the Markoutmovie Podcasters. And on today's episode, we are reviewing 1982's E.T. the Extraterrestrial by film auteur Steven Spielberg. Film auteur means like he's in a league of his own.
Well, that's because he is in a league of his own.
Hey, there's a handful of directors out there that you will say this is Spielberg-esque or esque, like Hitchcock-esque type of things. Spielberg is one of those guys.
He is.
And you could tell. We ain't even got into it, but you can tell a Spielberg movie, Brandon.
You can absolutely,
absolutely tell it,
and it's the best kind of movie too.
I ain't gonna disagree with that. I'm not gonna disagree with that.
I mean,
he's behind, but he's above Carpenter for me.
Is he?
Yeah, I mean, Spielberg. You gotta give the dude his props, man.
See, I thought your love for Carpenter was like my love for Spielberg, but since you just said he's above Carpenter, we're on the same page
in that regard. So,
yeah.
But next to him, right beneath him, will be Carpenter for me. So it's okay. It's all right.
I think beneath him, for me, would probably be, and it's he gets hate today, but it's probably James Cameron for me. Not that I think he's on the same level. I just enjoy his movies.
Yeah. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode today. We are talking about E.T. the Extraterrestrial. It is an hour and 55 minutes, rated PG. It's 80s PG, which is different from today's PG. And so a troubled child summons the courage to help a friendly alien escape Earth and return to his home world. Starring Henry Thomas as Elliot. Drew Barrymore. I was gonna say Drew McIntyre. Drew Barrymore as Gertie. Peter Coyote is Keys. The great Dee Wallace, America's mother. Dee Wallace is Mary. She always plays that mom role really well.
She was very attractive in this movie.
She really is, and we're gonna talk about her. And then Robert McNaughton as Michael, and that's all I'm gonna really name for the group, other than C.
Thomas Howell was part of the Friends as well before his breakout role in The Outsiders as Pony Boy.
Yep. So go ahead and hit him up with the numbers.
The numbers, and my phone just went blank.
It
got a 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb. It's got a 91% on Metacritic. Can you believe that? Metacritic.
I'm so surprised.
82% like it on Google. 98% like it on Rotten Tomatoes, but unfortunately, the audience score is only 72%. Mm-hmm. But that's props. 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, that's pretty nice.
That's nice.
It's certified.
Now I put the phone away.
So let's go ahead and I'm going to do the same. Let's go ahead and we're going to look at a quick trailer for the movie.
In this quiet neighborhood, on this tranquil street, a mystery is unfolding. And an adventure is beginning. Again.
I'm keeping you.
In March 2002, Steven Spielberg's masterpiece returns to theaters everywhere.
What's he doing? E.T. Phone Home.
All right, E.T. Phones Home. As explained to Brandon, I'm going to bring it up again. That house, the iconic E.T. house, is in California. It is an actual house that people actually go and tour and take pictures outside of the house. Brandon brought up the Poltergeist house.
Poltergeist, yes.
And so it's funny for several reasons. One, it reminds me also of the Amityville Horror House. Like a lot of people, they had to change the outside exterior of the house because people would come and look for those iconic, windows. But yeah, you brought up Poltergeist. So Spielberg originally had this as a movie, as a horror movie idea, where an alien comes in and terrorizes a suburban family, and and it goes crazy, right? But he talked to somebody that he was on a movie set with, and they said, "Well, why don't you make it a family-friendly movie instead of that?" And so they did that. But his idea for the family that's being terrorized by a entity became Poltergeist. And he gave it to Toby Hooper to direct, but we all know Spielberg directed.
Yeah, that's Spielberg all over that movie.
It's just like you can tell a Spielberg film. Goonies is technically um, Dick Donner, but Spielberg is all over that movie.
Yeah, I mean, Spielberg's all over anything really in the 80s. When you talk about adventure films, I mean, Indiana Jones, he is all over the place.
Yep.
And there's a reason why he's really considered the best of all time. I mean, he could do magic better than Steven Spielberg.
I can't think of one.
You can't.
I can't really think of one.
He created magic.
And and everybody that you would say, oh, well, I like them too. They are really pretty much like, to me, like not clones of Steven, but they're like almost like his children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as like Chris Columbus, Joe Dante, those films that kind of have that type of feel to it.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams, absolutely, he is totally.
Yeah, he's a Spielberg.
If you look at Super 8, which is J.J., right?
Yeah, produced by Spielberg.
Well, this is S.E.T. It's just
it's
E.T. It's just
it's like E.T. in the Goonies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so
I love it.
And it's not a stab at Super 8. I own it. It's on my shelf up here. I think it's in the kids section because I consider it more family friendly. So, but we're here to talk about
E.T.
the extraterrestrial.
Yes.
In looking at this movie, and we decided to change our formats. We're not gonna go over everything like moment by moment in the movie. We're just gonna talk about it. So, what were your thoughts on the reveal of? First of all, what were your thoughts on? We started out with like the reveal of ET, well, not so much the reveal, but of his culture, his people, or what do you call him? Like his family, his species.
Family.
Yeah,
his family. Yeah, I would go with family.
Yeah, they are his family, but they come to Earth and essentially get scared off, but they leave ET behind, the child.
Yeah.
And what were your thoughts on that reveal of them? Like you can see their little red chest glowing.
Yeah. I thought it was for its time, it was perfect. I mean, it brought out so much. I mean, this little gentle alien dude that you just you're drawn to from the opening, and you're like, you love his little guy. You love the family too, but when you really get to know him, you get to, as you said, the reveal. You're just drawn to him, and you're a fan of his instantly. And I loved it. I loved the reveal. I loved everything about that opening, though. I don't know what they were. Were they? They weren't like hunters or nothing, but
I think
townsmen.
I assumed that they were all the government. Like I got the feeling that they were the government, and that they must have been monitoring that this UFO was in that area, and so they went to look for it. But by the time they got there, it was gone. But ET was left behind.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts. But with him, like you just seen him. Like you don't see them there. You don't really get revealed to what they look like until, like, really truly get a picture of them until Elliot encounters him.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go over, and this is the only really part we're gonna really shift over like that. Then you cut over to the family, and I noticed something with this family dynamic. So you see these kids sitting at the table playing D&D. I assume it's D&D. It seems like they're playing Dungeons and Dragons. And Elliot wants to get in, but he's not. He's too small. They won't let him. I see smoke at the table. I don't know if it's who was smoking or if it was from the mom cooking. I don't know what it was, but you can see this mom, and this is what I noticed about Dee Wallace in this movie. Not only that she was attractive, but I noticed that she was a struggling mom. And I didn't think about this when I seen this movie as a child. It's only as an adult that I thought about it in that aspect of how it must have been for her being a single mom raising 3 children.
Yeah.
And I noticed like the little boy trying to poke at her butt and stuff like that, like stuff I never noticed because I wasn't paying attention. My focus was never there.
Yeah.
So what was your thoughts when you first see the family dynamic?
Well, I felt that Elliot really didn't know his place in the family. He didn't know. He just didn't fit in with anyone.
Mm.
And I love his story arc because he becomes the leader. They follow his lead by the end of the movie, and especially when he's trying to get ET back to his spaceship and with his family. But that's what I thought of him. Gertrude, is that her name? Gertie.
Drew.
She was adorable.
Man, how could you? Man,
Yeah, she was. I mean,
she was destined to be a star.
She was. she was destined to be a star, and she was just really adorable. Now the brother Michael, he just feels out of place to me.
Yeah, I feel that way. And if y'all disagree, please comment on YouTube. Or I might check on my phone to see if anybody commenting on our Facebook streams. Brandon may as well. But yeah, I feel that Michael was like, I really wish they would have cast C. Thomas Howell as Michael.
Yeah.
Versus this other kid. Although he did have some great moments when E.T. was being revealed to him. He was like making all this face and just like an older brother. He seemed like an older brother that's still childish.
Yeah.
Then like he sees the reveal of E.T. and it was just a great moment. And then like Gertie comes in, and because the brother Elliot plays sick.
Yeah, he plays sick
to stay home to be with E.T. that day. But all the kids pretty much encounter E.T. All the other kids encounter E.T. at the same time.
Yeah. And
Gertie's response was hilarious. She screams, E.T.'s head extends.
Yeah.
The E.T. noise.
Yeah, it's so many memorable shots in this movie. Not necessarily lines. I mean, of course, E.T. Phone Home is like the most famous one, but
I think "Shut Up, Gary" is also.
Yeah.
Is that the kid's name, Gary? Like the kid they always tell him to shut up.
Yeah, I think so.
Shut up, Gary, or Greg. It's something like that.
But I love the score in this movie. It's I have to say it's just beautiful.
Do you know who did it?
John Williams.
It was John Williams. It felt like
Spielberg
a John Williams.
Don't work without John.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I love the score, which I always love John's scores. Any film he does, he's magnificent at what he does, and he
feels full. His scores feel like it has a presence.
It does.
Yeah.
Of course, I always knew him from Jaws because it's
Jaws, man.
It's Jaws.
Yeah, it's Jaws.
But every film he's worked with Spielberg, that score, it's magnificent, and it makes you fall in love with. Even if you're not even paying attention to the movie, you just hear that score in any film he does. Indiana Jones is another example. That score, that theme, and it's man. I love his stuff, man.
Yeah.
I love Spielberg films. I'm a Spielberg kid.
Yeah.
And
what I liked about this is, especially when Elliot Elliot goes and gets this pizza, and he's like, he's not really taking care of the pizza, by the way.
He's not. He's got a baseball glove in his hand.
He's trying to balance it.
It's like, why?
Why did you even bring out the baseball glove to get the pizza guy? But anyway, he gets the pizza, and then he hears that noise, and he thinks it's a dog, and he rolls the ball, and then E.T. rolls the ball back to him. But just all that, man, just everything, just their relationship. And I want to ask you this: what is one thing I didn't realize or didn't understand rather was why did E.T. start draining Elliot? Is because of their bond?
Yeah, man, it's just their bond. They connected, and I love it that when he's getting drunk and Elliot's getting drunk
E.T.'s
at school.
getting drunk.
E.T.'s getting drunk, and it's like it's hilarious. And Elliot's getting drunk, and he's at school, and it's just it's just it's a big moment in the movie. It's just you're like it makes you feel like you're a kid again when you watch this movie. Like, but I guess that's with every Spielberg film. I mean, you go back to your childhood, instantly, and like I said, there's no one else like him.
No, absolutely. I think that like E.T., like the animatronic with E.T. and today obviously it would have all been digital. They would have made they would have probably been acting either with an actor, probably Andy Serkis, or somebody. But there's also, I believe that there was also a little man in the ET outfit at some points.
I think when he runs,
like when he runs or when he's moving.
Yeah.
You know, but when and then there was a lady. There's a lady that worked as ET's hand. That was doing his gestures when he points, when he grabs stuff. There was a lady doing that. But basically, you had animatronic.
Yeah.
But it looks so real. Like he looks so real. Even this movie was done in '82, and it's 2021 now, and it still looks great.
Yeah, it does.
It holds up really well.
The only thing I would have a complaint about, and it's not really a big complaint, is the bicycle scene when they're flying. You can tell.
You can tell this is a screen.
But I don't care. I'm in the moment.
You don't care.
I don't care. I'm in the moment.
So the point about that bicycle scene, Spielberg wanted a real. So he really found a point where the moon was at its lowest, and he filmed that, and then he just placed Elliot in front of that. But that's a real image that they filmed. My eyes hurting. But go ahead. E.T. done did something to me.
He didn't cry while watching the movie. I teared up, ladies and gentlemen. I teared up. But I mean, it's just a magical moment. With E.T. and Elliot, their bond, and man, it just really is. I mean, the magic in this movie, like there's another scene early on with they don't believe him about him seeing this alien,
right?
And they think he made it up. And he said, "Well, why don't you tell your dad? He believes you." You know, I can't. He's in Mexico with what's her name. And that just, as you said, she's a struggling mom. That really hits right there.
Yeah, that's
with her.
So these are little points that I didn't notice as a child, because as a child you don't think about this stuff, but as an adult you think about. And looking at the mom and the things that weigh on her, she's trying to hold this family together.
Yeah.
She said she didn't even know they ordered pizza. She said, "Who told you to order pizza?" You know, but they snuck and ordered pizza without the mom knowing. But then, but because she's so wrapped up in everything, she just recently, you assume recently divorced from or separated from her husband. He left off to go to Mexico with his new girlfriend, and she's trying to hold this family together. And then when Elliot makes that remark to her, it just I kind of like gasped.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. I'm like, that's brutal, you know. And she cries, and you see her pain, because it's not her fault that her bum husband ran off with some broad. It's not her fault, but she's just simply trying to do the best she can to raise her children. And then the other scene where she's where she's waiting for them to come home from Halloween, from trick or treating, and you can see how defeated that she felt that they didn't want to be home with her.
Yeah,
she had like a plan, a party planned, is what I try to say, a party planned, and and they essentially skipped out on her.
Yeah, well, they were
trying to get E.T.
Yeah, they were trying to get him back home.
What'd you think about that scene? Like E.T., like that scene with him wearing the ghost outfit.
Oh, the ghost outfit.
The iconic ghost outfit.
Yeah,
it's a fake, Mike. It's fake.
I love that scene, but that's the scene where he's dressed up as the woman.
Oh yeah, that's so weird. Like Gertie dresses him up as a girl, and teaches him how to speak. Gertie is the one that teaches E.T. how to speak.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. And so E.T.
I just love how Elliot just freaks out over it though.
Yeah.
it was a really good moment. It was a funny moment, and I just love that whole scene where Elliot finds him in a dress with a wig on, with lipstick on, and it's like he's like, why, how? He's just no. It was great. This movie has so many memorable moments still to this day.
You know what? And when watching this movie, they felt like a real family.
Yeah.
They never at one point felt like just actors portraying a family in a movie. It felt like a real family. Like Dee Wallace has the ability to, like, you believe she's the mom of like these children. Like, you believe it.
She always plays a mom.
She was also in Howling. But yeah, she plays a mom. She's in Cujo as a mom. But she's in, I want to say, Critters.
She was the mom in that too.
She's the mom in Critters. But she's just good at it. Hey man, if you're good at it, you're good at it.
She got typecast as the mom.
Yeah, and she came, as you noticed, she came back in later Critters, right? So Critters also. Let's talk about this real quick. In the first Critters, they take a stab at E.T. Remember that scene?
Yeah.
So they're sitting there, and there's an E.T. doll, and they bite. Don't they bite at the E.T. doll, or throw it, or punch it, or do something?
They do something to it.
They do something to try to say, no, we're gonna surpass E.T., which obviously is Critters. It didn't work. But
hey.
E.T. is on another level. Many have tried, many have failed.
It's a different movie too. I mean, if I was gonna compare it to anything, I would compare it to Gremlins. But I would say it's better than Gremlins. Do you feel like
Gremlins? Gremlins is I want to say it's Joe Dante or Columbus. I forgot.
I think it's Dante. I think.
Yeah, I might be wrong, guys. But Gremlins feels like a Spielberg film, and I want to say
he probably produced it.
Yeah.
He produces so much. He is a brand, ladies and gentlemen. He's a brand.
Yeah, just his marketability is.
Put his name on it; it'll sell.
Like, I'm looking it up real quick. All right, so produced by Spielberg. Yeah, I knew it. It felt, because don't Gremlins feel like a Spielberg movie? Yeah, Joe Dante. I told you.
Yeah, I would never.
Spielberg directs this, produces your movie. He's pretty much like, yeah, I'm producing it, but I'm also directing it. But I'm not going to take that credit from
him. He was heavily involved with the first Transformers film, which is the best.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure how much involvement he had with these sequels. His name's on them, but I don't know how much involvement. Right. But you could tell he was involved.
All right, this is just a comment that says, hey. Is that somebody sitting on a child? All right, okay. Anyway, hey, but yeah. So we, I don't know. I thought that it feels like Gremlins felt like, but I agree with you. Gremlins is on that same level as E.T.
Yeah,
and that's not sacrilege or
no,
anything.
It's on the level.
It's on that same level. But you cannot put Critters on that level. You cannot put nothing else, because there's been other things that try to capitalize off of either E.T. or Gremlins, right?
Yeah.
Like Ghoulies try to capitalize.
I have never seen Ghoulies.
You're okay that you didn't, but
I want to see them.
I'm pretty sure you would. You will one day.
One day.
Do I own them? I'll let you borrow them if I had them. But anyway, back to E.T. Let me ask you about Keys. Do you feel that Keys was all out just an evil guy, or do you feel like he just worked for an evil government, or do you feel the government in itself was evil, or just didn't understand E.T.?
Well, first question, I'll go with him. I don't think he's evil at all, and I think that's due to the actor Peter.
Coyote.
Yeah, I think his portrayal of him, it shows humanity, because he's been a lifelong fan of aliens and wanting to prove they exist.
He mentions that.
Yeah, and so I think casting him, just he felt like he cared. Yeah. Now the corporation, yes, I do feel they're evil. I think he works for an evil corporation. because they don't care about these aliens.
Isaiah said he likes my shirt. Thank you, Isaiah. That's your brother, right?
That's my nephew.
Nephew. Well, thank you, Isaiah, the nephew. What's up, nephew? All right. And trying to see if we have anything. All right. Just keep going. I'm sorry. I just want to. If I see comments, man, I'm going to try to mention them as I see them.
Understood. But yeah, I feel like the corporation that he's working for is evil. They just, you know.
He just happened to be there. He just happens to be. It reminds me, and this is another segue. It reminds me of Stranger Things. Oh, okay. What is? Say Biffer the Hobbit. Spielberg keeps making me cry, and I'm tired of it.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, Spielberg has a tendency to do that. Spielberg, Color Purple is a phenomenal movie.
I've yet to see it.
I know, but Spielberg.
There's a couple.
All my movies, and I'm ashamed to say I've never seen Schindler's List. I need to see it, but Spielberg is one of those guys that like Color Purple is a movie that I've seen ever since I was a kid, and I wouldn't have known that it was Spielberg until like that. I found that out later on in life. I was like, Spielberg did that, and then like when I think about that movie, it feels like a Spielberg movie, but just like in a black story that Spielberg told, you know.
Yeah.
And it's really good. It still has, and that's why I wanted to review it. We will have to review it one day, but yeah. But Spielberg, man, go ahead.
I mean, what can you say about him? I mean, he's like, I don't know. He's when people could talk about best actors, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they always mention Tom Hanks and Denzel. I don't even say Washington anymore. It's just Denzel.
I know what you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So you know, it's kind of the same thing with filmmakers. It's just Spielberg. It's just there's Spielberg. Not another one. But obviously, you could say Morgan Freeman as actress too. I mean,
actor. You call him actress.
I call him actress. I apologize, Morgan. You awesome, man.
You're a man. No.
Not to get off on this, but I was watching a trailer to Lean on Me, and I just love the fact that I'm Batman, and then he later on worked for Batman. It's irrelevant to what we're talking about. I just kind of hit me.
It's a circle. No, but no, yeah, no. Spielberg is one of you can. If I even say to Steven, I think most times you know that I'm thinking about either one or two Stevens, either Spielberg or King.
Yeah.
So like nobody thinks no one else. You know what I'm saying? Like you think if somebody says, "Oh, there's a new movie coming out," but Steven's making a new movie, you think Spielberg, and then if I say no, you say, "Oh, King."
Yeah.
You don't, but nobody says it. Spielberg, just his name by itself means a lot.
Yeah, just
his name.
All you gotta say is Spielberg, and everybody knows who you're talking about.
And everybody knows what to expect in that movie. Like you can tell. Like, have you seen the movie? And I know I'm going to get back to E.T., but have you ever seen the movie? But this is not just about E.T. It's about the man who made E.T., which is Spielberg. Did you ever see the movie AI, Artificial Intelligence? So Stanley Kubrick, interestingly enough, made Artificial Intelligence. He started out making it. He passed away. Spielberg finished it. And you can tell, and at one point, I didn't like it because Kubrick has his own tone.
Mm-hmm.
He has a dark tone and everything. Like, you know, and so you can tell that tone shifted when Spielberg took over. Like when Spielberg, and you can tell that changed. But I'm willing to go back and watch it to see if I like it, because I liked the first part of it. I didn't like that tone shift from Kubrick to Spielberg.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. I didn't like it when I first saw it either. I don't think I've seen it since.
I haven't seen it. It's like, what, 99, I think?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think I was thinking late 90s. But yeah, I hadn't. See, you told me this, and I didn't even know that Stanley directed it or started to direct. I thought it was just a Spielberg film.
No, yeah. I think Spielberg ended up getting the name credit on it. But yeah, but
yeah, he did.
Honestly, you can't think of many movies that Spielberg has that you would say, well, those are bad. But typically, you think of a Spielberg movie, you think, oh, well, they're pretty good.
For me, I think there's two. and maybe I'm not giving him enough credit or a real chance.
I'm interested to know.
Because they're not typical Spielberg films.
Mhm.
And one of them's a comedy, the only comedy he ever tried to do, 1941. I was not a fan.
I never seen that. Is that with
Belushi.
Belushi? Yeah.
Yeah, that movie to me is all over the place, and okay. I was like, okay, Spielberg can't do comedy. There's one thing he can't do. I mean, he can have comedy in his films, but he can't do a straight up comedy.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And the other one was called Munich, about the
Oh
bombing.
yeah.
I didn't really care for that, but I didn't know what I was getting into when I watched it either. So I could go back and I could really love it. But at the time, I didn't know what it was. I just saw Spielberg's name on it, so I bought it and I watched it, and I was like,
see, like movies, like a movie that somebody that panned, I liked was Ready Player One. I love
that movie.
I love the fan service in it. I enjoyed everything about that film. And so, yeah, and E.T. I think pops up in there as well somewhere because it's 80s everywhere. The BFG.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that was a good one. Lincoln, I thought he did a good job in that one. The Adventures of Tintin.
I haven't seen it.
Of course, Indiana Jones. I didn't like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull as much. I liked War of the Worlds. Terminal, Catch Me If You Can, Minority Report. That's another one I need to go back and watch. So AI was 2001, by the way. Minority Report's 2002. I'll need to go back and watch that because initially, I didn't like that. That's one that I would say that I didn't like.
I enjoyed it, but it was different for Spielberg and Tom Cruise. It was just that I love when they get together though, even though they apparently hate each other now.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Tom actually wants to work with him again, and Spielberg says no.
Well, Tom wants an Oscar, and he knows Spielberg will get it.
Yeah. But, I love Tom Cruise. Anybody knows me knows I love Tom Cruise. But...
Oh, we're thinking Tom Cruise. You know what I was thinking? I think
who are you thinking about?
I think Hanks. In my head, I had Hanks.
Well, Tom's won plenty of Oscars.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
The other Tom hasn't.
What? So when did he work with him?
Hanks,
Minority Report. Yeah.
Minority Report and War of the Worlds.
Okay.
He created such bad press for War of the Worlds that Spielberg doesn't want to work with him again.
Yeah.
Because he jumped on that couch.
Yeah. Stick with Tom Hanks. He's the better Tom out of both times. So.
Anyway, he's better.
He's the better.
But
Tom.
Cruise has got that fun ability.
I would rather see Hanks. But anyway.
He works with Hanks quite a bit too.
Hanks is the man.
He's
up there with his.
You can't go wrong with Tom Hanks. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, but we're all the way off V.
We are off the ET.
Let me get back to it. So real quick, the scene where they're going trick or treating. There's a scene like Spielberg paid props to George Lucas by having Yoda pop up.
Yes, I love that.
And then Lucas, because they're like BFFs.
Yes,
Spielberg and Lucas are like best friends, and it's crazy how two big juggernauts in directing, in film, were like is like neck close to one another.
Yeah.
But but anyway, he pays respect to Spielberg by putting E.T.'s race in. I think it was episode 1. It's either episode 1 or episode 2.
I need to go back and watch.
Yeah, so when the Palpatine I think it's Palpatine was addressing all the aliens, and there's on those little oval.
Yeah, okay, I remember now.
E.T.'s family was
I
up in
remember
there.
that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was great seeing Yoda, the kid on Halloween dressed up as Yoda.
And he says, home.
Yeah, it was great.
So E.T. is a part of the Star Wars universe. I'm just saying.
Back as a child when I watched it, I didn't get it because I had never seen Star Wars. But now that I've seen Star Wars, I appreciate it a lot more. I appreciate a lot of things a lot more watching it now than I did as a kid. I think as a kid, though, I got to a certain age where I felt I outgrew E.T.
Yeah, I think everybody does. Like, at first, when you mentioned let's do E.T., I was like, okay. But then I thought, I ain't seen it in so long. Yeah, I'll watch it again. But yeah, as a kid, you felt like, I've outlived E.T.'s appeal. Yeah. But It's not true.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not true. Like the scene where there's two big bicycle scenes. The first one with obviously just Elliot and ET riding through the neighborhood, and he goes he flies them over the cliff over to the other side. That's the big iconic scene with the moon it's the emblem symbol logo. But the other big bicycle scene is when the kids were running from the police. It felt like, it felt really good to seeing it and them cutting through the back of the houses and stuff. And I love that scene where C. Thomas Howell's like, yes, we beat them. And then all of a sudden they all piled out.
Yeah.
And oh no.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That whole scene with all the kids. I don't know if you've ever been to Universal Studios.
No, I've never been out of Kentucky. Go ahead. Continue, Brandon.
Anyway, when I was
it's hyperbole. I've been out of Kentucky. I just never been there.
When I was like 11 or 12, I don't remember how old I was, but I went to Universal Studios for the very first time in Florida, and I rode the ET ride, and it just brought back so many happy memories of getting on that bike and just flying. And
so is that what it is? It's like literally getting on the bike?
Yeah, you're on the bike.
That's cool. I mean, is ET in the cart with you? How does that work?
He's in the cart.
Like what is it? Is it multiple bikes and people get on it?
Yeah, it's like I forget.
And there's a screen.
It's like 3-4 bikes in a row. You just get on it. I mean,
there's a screen that's playing, or
no, there's not a screen. It's like a little ride.
Oh, it is literally a ride. So you're moving.
But it goes very slow.
Oh well,
but
it's a bike.
As an 11-year-old kid,
it's pretty amazing. Is that where you see Jaws? No,
that's Jaws was there too. Yeah,
don't you have a picture with you and Jaws somewhere?
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome too. But I'm sorry, it's another Spielberg.
But yeah, I think I have a picture when I was 11 years old with Jaws.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I always wanted to go to like Disney or Universal. I want not so much to ride a ride. I want to tour backlots. Like that's always
Back to the Future was there too.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go. I want to go to Hill Valley. I always wanted just to tour and see these locations that my favorite movies were made. Like I want to go to I think Pasadena to see the Michael Myers house. I want to see the Strode house, I guess.
Yeah.
But I want to see. I guess it would be the Myers house, not Strode house, actually.
You would have really appreciated Universal Studios in the 90s.
Because I wonder.
Hitchcock had his own thing there too.
I always wanted to see. The Hitchcock, the Psycho house.
Yeah, that was.
And I hate that I didn't get to see that.
That was awesome.
I think it's torn down now, right? Or they relocated it?
It's not there.
Oh.
Last time I went, it wasn't there. Jaws isn't. I mean, the shark is there, but the ride's gone. Back to the Future's gone. E.T.'s gone. Every great thing I love about it.
Everything that you love is been.
Terminator's still there though.
Didn't they have a mummy ride at one point?
It was like a little show.
Oh, okay.
I went to it, but it wasn't. I didn't enjoy it.
My point with these kids too on the bikes. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to it. So the kids on the bike. There is a scene. So there's a scene that, like when this movie was re-released, I think back in the 90s, 80s, late like 90s, I think 90s or 2000. They digitally removed the guns out of the people's hands and put walkie-talkies, and there was so much outcry over it because D is saying there's no guns. There's the children, no guns. But there's a scene where, because they had rifles, but they digitally removed those and put walkie-talkies. And I was looking for this in this movie, and I'm glad that this is the original version because you have guns and not walkie-talkies. They did it because they thought, well, it'd be bad to point guns at children. That's a movie. It's the 80s, man. We were tough back then. We could take guns.
Yeah. We got it and just walked it off.
That's not true. but that scene where they're all flying, man, I thought that was really cool.
I mean, it's iconic.
It's iconic.
I mean,
you feel like the camaraderie between the kids at that point, especially when you get to the park and they first revealed like E.T. to the rest of the kids, and they're like, they were all about it. They were friends. They were friends.
Yeah, they
were.
What
I mean,
they were
real friends.
Real friends.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
yes, sir.
But real quick, let's see. I talked about the people that try to capitalize on ET. One of those people that try to capitalize on him is a little movie called
God, don't
Mac
you
and
do
Me.
it. Don't you do it.
They were an average alien family living on their own planet. And we were an average family living on ours.
He took my Coke, Mom. Come on, you guys.
I don't have it. I didn't take it.
I knew it.
Accidents happen, and like us, they found themselves in a strange new neighborhood.
I like it.
Me too.
Shh. Communing with the earth spirits.
Welcome to California, bud.
Alert, alert, we have a malfunction,
Their lives were in danger.
That golf, Larry, get away from it.
We've got a problem here.
They had to escape. When the smoke cleared, their family was separated. Somehow, one of the aliens was hiding in our house. The government wanted to capture him.
It's here.
Everyone was after him. And my brother, Eric, wants to make friends.
We got him.
You sucked this living thing into a vacuum cleaner?
Yeah, and then we blew him out again.
Now Eric is risking not only his life, but my life
Give me the gun. Step back.
to save them.
This is the police.
I told you they don't understand.
It's about more than friendship. It's about adventure. Mac and me.
Right. Brandon, your thoughts. Brandon, no silence, man.
Nope. I'm not watching that, Aaron.
Brandon, you gotta watch Mac and Me.
Nope, never did. Never happened.
Everybody in their life need to watch this terrible
Mm-mm.
movie. And it's you will love it. It's so bad.
I will not love it, Aaron.
You should watch it. There's a scene in this movie that whenever Conan O'Brien used to have a guest that something was going like not really that entertaining, he'll press his lever and then cut to a scene where the kid in his wheelchair is going off a cliff. That's hilarious.
Is that in that movie, Mac and Me?
It's in Mac and Me.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
But
yeah, Mac and Me was a movie that tried to capitalize off of E.T. That McDonald's came out with. Mac, get it, Big Mac?
I get it. I get it.
Ronald McDonald is actually in this movie.
I bet he is. I bet the whole family's in it.
Yeah, Grimace. No, it's terrible. But yeah, I just want to show you that real quick that there is other movies that tried to capitalize off of E.T. Now, the biggest homage I would think to E.T. would come in the form of Stranger Things. I want to talk about that. So, season 1 of Stranger Things, I felt like it was pretty much the Duffer brothers. Duffer, is that their name? I think the Duffers.
Something
like
to that.
Duffy or Duffer, one of them. Anyway.
They're good.
Yeah, but I felt like it was their homage or paying their respects to Spielberg and King.
Yeah, it was both. It was King and Spielberg. They had a baby.
The two Stevens. Yeah.
And Stranger Things was the baby.
Yeah. See, that first season of Stranger Things felt like a lot of E.T. and a lot of Stephen King 80s horror, and just mixed in to just one thing, and that's why that first season to me was so phenomenal. Because it felt. And there's a scene where their kids are on the bike and they're running from the evil corporation, the evil whatever. But instead of her flying them over the van, that's what I thought it was gonna do. But she flips the van. I'm like, oh, that's the Stephen King aspect because those people are dead, But yeah, what were your thoughts on that?
No, I mean I agree with you. It was Stephen King and Spielberg. They had a baby, and that first season was phenomenal. Also it gives me the Goonies vibe, but also
it's all Spielberg.
Not just Spielberg, but Stand By Me.
That's Steven.
Dreamcatcher. When they were, they grew up as kids and they later on became adults. I could see that actually happening with Stranger Things.
If they keep it going.
At some point, they will cast them as adults.
Yeah. I think that this
still fighting aliens.
I know this isn't about ET, but I think that they need to in that next season of Stranger Things. I think they need to fast forward to like the 90s. I think the kids need to be because it's like 84, and they're clearly older now. At least 88. They had to be. Can't be 84.
I think there is a time jump. I still think they're in the 80s.
Yeah, it's fine, even if it's late 80s, though. I don't because
they
first
are
couple of seasons,
older.
84, 85, right? Something like that. 80s.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, I just wanted to think. I think that ET though. I thought that like the end. So ET, the part that I'm sorry, I scratch you. Sorry,
he
Brandon.
just hit me. That's twice today.
No, but the part that Brandon says I did not cry on. Brandon, explain that part.
Oh, it's the end. When they're saying goodbye.
Oh, I thought you was talking about when ET dies. ET dies.
Well, yeah, that's a sad
so
moment.
does ET die in order to free Elliot from the bond so that Elliot can get better? Because they were going together.
Yeah.
And then like ET started like pulling away from Elliot so that Elliot can get better.
Yeah.
So ET had to die for Elliot to survive.
Yeah. I mean that's a sad moment as well. I mean, but no, what I was talking about was the end. When Elliot is saying goodbye to ET and ET saying goodbye to the family and all that the spaceship lands, that emotional moment with him, and you can see him get on that spaceship, and you just that shot of Elliot. That's one of the shots I remember the most is of him looking up at the spaceship.
Yeah,
and Super 8 did it exactly the same way.
Yeah,
and of course
it did. Right?
But that moment, I actually teared up when he's hugging him and he's saying goodbye, and it's a very emotional. I love this movie.
Listen, a part of the movie that I really enjoyed that I meant to mention, I will mention now. So that part when Elliot realized that ET's back and ET's like glowing and he's alive and he's planning on somebody's trying to call me. I'm doing a podcast. Don't call me. I'm doing a podcast. Don't call me. Anyway, so when Elliot realized that ET's back and ET's like, he's trying to get his hand down and cover his chest up and stuff, and he's doing the fake crying.
Yeah.
And he's doing it loud, fake crying. And then he's walking out and he sees the flower. It starts to bloom again, comes back to life, and he does his like cry, but his cry is more like an excitement cry.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, it's like I love that little scene because the look on Henry, what's his name?
Thomas.
Henry Thomas.
Done a lot.
A phenomenal actor, man.
Yeah, he is.
And he got this role because he was able to cry during his audition when Spielberg was like, hey, we're going to do a scene where I'm taking E.T. from you. The government is taking him from you. You're not going to get him back. And he's like, and he started crying like, no, he should be with me. We're friends. He's really laying in there. And then Spielberg was like, dude, you got the part, But I'm
getting a call too.
Yeah. We're doing a podcast.
And they won't.
You got it. Brandon doesn't know how to work technology.
But I know how to work technology. It just wasn't working.
I don't believe he does. But anyway, so that scene though, what was I saying? Because it distracted me. What was it?
About the crying. He was auditioning.
Crying. Yeah, but he's just Henry Thomas himself. He's such a great actor. I love that his career has continued with my man,
Mike Flanagan.
And
Stephen King.
And Stephen, yeah, he just continued, and He's such a great actor, man. He's phenomenal. If you haven't seen the haunting
Hill
of
House.
Hill House on Netflix, do watch it. He is great in it.
He's also in Blind Manor.
He's also
But I
in
didn't
Blind
get
Manor.
to finish that. So.
Unfortunately, right?
I mean, it wasn't like terrible or anything.
It wasn't
what
great,
I've
though.
seen. I seen about half of it, I think.
It also wasn't great, but he's also in Gerald's Game. And he plays a nefarious type of role in Gerald's Game in that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's and Doctor Strange, Doctor Sleep, not Doctor Strange, Doctor Sleep. I'm glad to see that he has life after the 80s. That's what you want from the guys, any guys that you see from movies that you love growing up.
Yeah, I mean, but sadly, I don't think I think he's always gonna be remembered as Elliot.
Yeah, I think he is.
But that's a kind of a good thing, though.
Yep.
It's just that he was a child actor, but still, he's done a lot. He's
But you know what? Go ahead.
He's worked with Martin Scorsese. He's in Gangs of New York, Legends of the Fall with Brad Pitt, I believe. I think that's what the name of that movie is.
That's a
He's
great
the
movie.
brother. Anthony Hopkins is also in that movie.
Yeah, that's a great movie, man.
He's worked. I mean, he's done a
Yeah.
lot. He's truly one of those '80s kids that not only survived Hollywood as a child actor, but flourished.
Mm-hmm. And he is not ashamed of E.T.
He's not ashamed.
Hey, come on!
Elliot? Elliot.
You came back. My son. My family.
Lots changed since you were here.
It's called the internet. Go ahead, do it. Eat it. I'm gonna hit start now, okay? Whoa!
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas star.
Holiday movies.
And may all your Christmases be fine.
Family.
Oh,
All right. I'm sorry it played so long, but it was for those that are listening on Anchor. I forget that we're doing it for y'all too. That was E.T. The Xfinity commercial
Yeah.
from like 2019, where Elliot and E.T. have a reunion.
Yeah.
And Brandon looked like he's almost about to tear up a little bit.
Hey, I love this stuff, man. I really do. I mean, this is Spielberg, E.T., all this stuff. This magical world he creates with every film, especially in the 80s, even in the 90s. I mean, with Hook. I mean, I wasn't always a big fan of Peter Pan, but that movie with Hook, man, it drew me in. Of course, Robin Williams playing Peter Pan, adult Peter Pan, was just fantastic. Dustin Hoffman as Hook. I mean, it was just Spielberg. That's all I can say. It's just Spielberg.
That's all you need to say.
If you've never seen a Spielberg film, it's an injustice to your life.
What would you? So that's a good question, right there, Brandon. So, if you would suggest one, it's hard to do. If you were to suggest one Spielberg movie,
just one.
Is
that fair to ask me? One
Spielberg movie to suggest to someone that would introduce them to the magic of Spielberg. Which one would be?
Okay, I'm not gonna pick the one I would normally pick.
Jaws.
Yeah, that'd be Jaws. You would get the magic of Spielberg. One film. I think it's E.T.
I would say, I would go with Indiana Jones and I say the Ark of Indiana Jones and
the first one.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Temple, the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Like, I'm not like the biggest Indiana fan, but I do appreciate them.
Yeah. Although the second one was a little bit more humorous.
Yeah.
Because
and darker.
The second one went darker. The third one went lighter because he got such backlash for being so dark.
Yeah, Sean Connery.
Yeah.
That's either Temple of the Doom or The Last Crusade is my favorite. It's a toss up between those two. But I'm a big fan. I'm not like the biggest fan of Indy, but I do enjoy them. It took me years to watch.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't the biggest George Lucas fan.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
You know what movie? Yeah, and I love George Lucas. I think even as a kid, I loved Star Wars. I didn't know who George Lucas was, obviously. I didn't understand the concept of a director. But one of my favorite George Lucas movies is actually American Graffiti.
Yeah, that was my first film I saw. I enjoyed it.
And I think people, if you want to see two movies, I would say you want to see Richard Dreyfuss at his best, would be Jaws and American Graffiti. Those are like the two films that I would say that you see. He's really good. He's a really good actor, period.
Yeah, he is.
But those are like American Graffiti, he's a younger guy.
Yeah.
And but you could tell right then that he had something.
He had it.
Oh, also, Harrison
Ford.
First Encounters of Third Kind. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
I thought you were going Harrison Ford. It was like Harrison Ford's one of his first roles.
Yeah, it was one of his first roles.
Yeah.
Also, Harrison Ford was supposed to be here in E.T. as the principal. There's a scene of him, but they cut it. They deleted it. But it would have been really cool because,
yeah,
it's Harrison Ford.
It's Harrison Ford in a Steven Spielberg picture. Was it before? No, it was after Indiana, because Indiana Jones was like 80, 81, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, man, he's had a career.
What about that guy? Yeah. And I think, and even now, like, I get excited to see Harrison Ford. I like to see him in Force Awakens. I like seeing him in Blade Runner 2020. 2084, whatever it was.
I haven't seen it.
But I like see. I watched the first Blade Runner just to watch it, and I'm not. I know this is blasphemous. I'm not a huge Blade Runner fan. Just not. I tried.
I actually think there's more people that's not. Than,
I tried my best,
think.
but the remake, the sequel, is a far superior movie. But
I don't know. I haven't seen it. So.
But that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, your thoughts.
But. Yeah, no, E.T. though, we're going to go ahead and close this out with E.T. E.T., I think, is one of those movies. If I had to pick, 5 movies to capture the 80s. 80s childhood type of movies. It will be, I'm not putting them in order. It's just 5. It would be E.T. It would be Goonies. It would be, oh man, I should I set myself up. E.T. Goonies. I say Lost Boys because that is a part of childhood, even the horror element of it. Stand by Me, it's a great movie in the 80s. The 5th one, oh, I put myself in the corner. I would say for me, I don't know, is it just kids though? Monster Squad, because that's another. It's not as good as say Goonies. Gremlins. Okay, Gremlins. I put Gremlins, not Monster Squad. Yeah, that's it. You, Brandon.
Me, E.T., Goonies, Lost Boys. I'm gonna go Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I should have thought.
With kids, right? With kids. Weird Science.
Weird Science. John Hughes.
I love John Hughes.
Listen, that's another guy, and I know we're going a little longer. We're 1 hour and a minute, but John Hughes is another guy that is phenomenal.
Yeah,
I like the review of John Hughes' movie. I think Weird Science.
I would have to rebuy it.
I have to rebuy all those. I don't own any of them. Yeah, I love John Hughes though. Actually, I do. I
don't have any.
I might have Breakfast Club. I have to check, but John Hughes is a guy that was for the 80s.
He was before his time.
He's for 80s teen comp. He is like the Stephen King, Steven Spielberg of teen movies. You know what I'm saying? But I won't just say the comedies because they have dramatic elements.
Yeah, they're very dramatic.
Yeah, but he's you're right. He's ahead of his time. He created a world with his movies, man. And he's another one where you can watch a movie in the 80s and like, this is John Hughes, isn't it? Like you just immediately think John Hughes did this because it feels like a John Hughes movie.
I agree.
So
we ready to give our scores?
Let's give our scores.
All right. 5 Markouts for me. It's a classic and it just won't get old. And it's everything you want in an adventure film. It has magic, it has wonder, it has imagination, it has everything.
One more comment before I give my scores. Brandon, read it.
My top 3 80s movies featuring kids: Once Upon a Time in America, E.T., Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. Dude.
Back to the Future, yeah.
You know what? You're right. Prefer the Hobbit? Prefer the Hobbit.
He prefers the Hobbit.
But prefer the Hobbit.
Prefer the Hobbit.
Before the Hobbit, no. But anyway, yeah, you're right, man. I forgot to mention Back to the Future because, and I'm a huge Back to the Future fan.
But when you're talking 80s, though, there's Limitless.
It's Limitless. But Back to the Future, to me, I never thought about it as a kid's. That's probably what it is. I didn't think about it as he's technically in high school, but I didn't think about it because he's so adult acting in what he does, and it just is such a it's one of those movies, man. If I did a list of top 10 80s movies, Back to the Future is like in my top 5.
Oh, here we go. He's gonna come up with a list.
We're gonna have to do a list, Brandon. I'm not gonna do it next week. We'll probably save it for like maybe a couple weeks from now. We'll do a list of our top 80s. 20 80 films, right?
20 80 films.
But yeah, thank you, Before the Hobbit. I love that you commenting. Keep it up, bro. All right, of course 5. It's no get. You don't give Spielberg anything less. So unless he deserves it. But no, E.T. is not one of those. E.T. is the it's a movie that has been often replicated or duplicated, but never. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like people try to do an ET, make an ET, make a movie an ET movie, but you can't because ET is.
I think as far as like trying to rip it off, there was a movie that came out in the 2000s with Seth Rogen, Paul, I
remember that.
He did the voice of Paul.
Yeah,
I actually enjoyed that movie.
It has my dude from Shaun of the Dead.
Those guys.
Drawing a
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg, yeah. I just drew a blank right now. But yeah.
Yeah,
I actually liked it, but that's a different. I think that's Simon Pegg.
He was making it more adult.
Their way of paying homage to E.T. Like they're good at that. Like with Shaun of the Dead, with Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz is like their homage to Jerry Bruckheimer and Bad Boys. Another E.T. knockoff is Super 8. Yep. Yeah. But
it's really good.
But it is really good. It's the exception. It was actually, you're not bored watching that movie.
No.
But yeah, E.T. That's what we did this week. Next week, it's my pick. I don't know yet. I'm leaning towards Galaxy Quest, but I don't know if Brandon has it.
I do not.
I don't think I have it either, so I'd have to purchase it. But Brandon will put it out online, whatever it'll be. On the 23rd, I'll be out of town, so you had to do a solo somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
But all right, in the meantime, in between time, Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon Spivey.
Thank you for marking out with us.